Y'all know for the longest time I said that I would do RuPaul's Drag Race commentary. However, I'm just always scared because I feel like, whoo, the RuPaul's Drag Race fans are really crazy. Low key, I was scared to even talk about like Love Island stuff because after seeing how crazy like Huda's fans get on the internet, I was like, if I say anything that's negative towards Huda, they're gonna go crazy for me. But then also at the end of the day, I really do just have to realize is I have my opinion. Okay, this is my channel. At the end of the day, I can talk about whatever the hell I want to talk about, and my opinion is my opinion. And I don't know. I really do feel. Obviously, this day and age, if I'm keeping it real with you guys, like pretty much all the channels that I watch are just commentary channels or podcasters, which is the same damn thing. I really do feel like people really need to understand we all have different opinions, okay? And I feel like people really need to chill out. If you don't agree with somebody's opinion, that's fine. You could still be friends with them. You could still be chill with them. You could still subscribe to them. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I really do like need to come to, just the acceptance of I may have some hot takes that may get me in some, hot water with the Love Island fans or with RuPaul's Drag Race fans. You know what I'm saying? I do have to say this. If you guys have watched Bussy Queen's videos before, people go in on him on Twitter, which I don't even understand. Like, I've watched several of his videos before. He primarily does, drag race commentary, and I think that he seems very nice. I think that he's just giving his thoughts and opinions, and people really on Twitter specifically do not like him, and I'm like, I don't understand. Like, people just don't like people who are opinionated, I guess. It's like, at the end of the day, like, if you don't agree with his opinions, it's not that deep. He's not bashing anybody. He's not bullying anybody. He's literally just giving his commentary. So today, y'all, I guess that maybe I have some hot takes. Today we're going to be talking about Mistress Isabelle Brooks, and she recently has been beefing with people. If you guys did not see, she was beefing with Willem. I gotta say, I was gonna make a video about that, but then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna sound like I am just playing Switzerland because genuinely I like them both. I think that Willem is hilarious. I think Mistress Isabelle Brooks is hilarious. I think that a lot of people don't understand her. I have said this before when it comes down to people on reality TV, you need that villain type of character because they're the ones that are bringing in the entertainment. I do have to say I have been a fan of Mistress Isabelle Brooks from her first season. This time on All Stars, though, I do see how a lot of people were calling her out because she was maybe doing a little bit too much, but I do think that she kind of said, you know what, this is my opportunity to get the girls talking again. So, like, let me beef with these people. Let me go ahead and throw shade. But this time it may have been a little bit too much. Specifically, y'all, there's two things that when I was watching this All-Star season recently, which, by the way, I loved this whole bracket series. I really did like how they separated the queens and made it a competition show. I really liked it. I hope that they do that again. But two specific things to me that I was just like, Mistress, I really like you, but damn, girl, you're being a little annoying. Is when she was sitting there like, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Oh, Ginger, you're so this, you're so that. Yeah. Like, I was like, girl, you're giving bitter, sore loser energy. Like, I did not like that. And then when she was like all up in Aja's ear and she like smacks her hair out of the way and like laughs in her ear, if somebody did that to me, y'all, it would take everything out of me to not swing on the person. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Aja held herself like so nice. Like she was like, okay, girl, you're doing too much. And I'm like, if I was Aja, like low key, I'm like, I think I would have got kicked off the show. I think I would have swung on Mistress. I think that obviously Aja knows like this is just her character and she's doing this because I guess she did say before that Mistress even said like, oh, girl, we just made good TV right there, which Mistress knows what she's doing. She's obviously doing this to stir up the pot to like, rile some feathers. And she's obviously doing this to, be the villain of the show and get people talking about her. And whether you hate her or you like her, you have to know that she obviously did make the drama of the season. Who else made the drama? Do you know what I'm saying? Like she literally was the one stirring the pot. So I think that she does hold, a main character role when it comes down to RuPaul's Drag Race being the way that she is. Recently, she called out Willem, if you guys did not see that. I guess Willem had made some comments about her and Mistress did not like them. So Mistress went in on her. I was like, damn, girl. Like, she made a full video about Willem, which I was like, is it really that deep? You know what I'm saying? I feel like Willem is, obviously an opinionated person and she's going to speak her mind. If you guys know who Willem is, like she is definitely, not one to shy away from drama. And I was just like, it's not that deep. But once again, I feel like Mistress knows drama brings in the views, right? Well, I guess because of this whole entire situation, I guess Eureka O'Hara had spoke out on Willem's page about Mistress. And I gotta say, you know what's so crazy? I used to really like Eureka, but then the more that I've seen of Eureka, I'm like, She kind of seems like annoying. She seems like she just wants to be the victim in every single situation. She wants sympathy. She wants people to feel bad for her. And it's just like, I don't know. She just has that like, woe is me type of complex. And the more that I've seen of her, I'm like, okay, girl, you're annoying. Like, honestly, like when this whole thing had came out, like there was several, RuPaul's Drag Race contestants of saying like, homegirl smelt really bad. Like, it's kind of like, yes, it's a very, sad situation, but also at the same time too, it's like, okay, girl, let's go ahead and get it together, with our hygiene. Let's go ahead and be a little bit more clean. Do you know what I mean? I guess like there was some costumes that were shared and they were returned in horrible condition, and I guess multiple people said that she smelled, and it's kind of like, whoa, take that as a self-realization moment, which yes, it is very embarrassing, it's very awkward, and it is kind of sad for her. But I don't know, just seeing the way that she acts about everything, I'm just kind of like, okay, girl, it's clear to see that you just want to be the victim in every single situation. Well, Mistress called her out specifically because Eureka had left a comment underneath Willem's post. Let me go ahead and read this right here, which, by the way, Mistress Isabelle Brooks posted on Twitter all of these, screenshots, but this is what Eureka had posted right here. She said, working with Mistress was one of my worst experiences and shadiest experiences. She's a big fat rat, pretended to be my sister to cover her ass until the fans were fully on her side and she stopped picking up the phone as soon as she accomplished her evil intent. She's a true villain that must secretly be in a lot of pain, so at Willem, you win, period. I'll never forget when I was struggling to get ready for Canada versus the world, you opened your wardrobe to me and kindness. At Mistress Isabelle Brooks, however, promised me she was sending hair and a costume continuously to a point I continued or counted on things from her. Then she went MIA when I confronted her on her show. She said she'd send me the wig, never did, and then wore the costume she was sending me on Drag Race. It's a twisted kind of weird. And then it like cuts off right here. It says so I don't know where the rest of that post is right there. Maybe I messed up on the screenshot. I don't know. But basically you guys see right there what Eureka was saying about Mistress. Now, this is where I guess Mistress got a little bit mad about this because she was making a public comment about this. So Mistress had posted, okay, and I'm going to read obviously all the screenshots. That was one of the screenshots right there. Maybe that's why it was cut off. I don't know. She said right here, once again, a public statement deserves a public response. You bitches are so weird. Let's tell the people why I really ghost you. All you do is beg me for money and drain my energy like I'm supposed to be your crutch. You created your bed, now lay in it, at Eureka O'Hara. To be honest, your actions trigger me and remind me of the addiction that runs in my family, so I do my very best to avoid any interaction with you. I guess I'll be the bad guy for that. P.S. These messages are after we filmed 12/29/24, and I already paid her for the gig and extra for the video shoot. And she put all the receipts out here. Okay, so let's go ahead and see. The first one obviously was the comments that she had posted about Mistress underneath Willem's post. And then these are screenshots right here from Eureka to Mistress. Are you up? And then Mistress writes back, what's the tea? Girl, I'm stranded. Can you send me $50 to get home? Long story. I'm stranded and can't Uber from Henderson. My plan is to post a video about writing and our love, etc. No drama, by the way. I just needed to process it. I need to be mindful of how I respond. I get reactionary too. I'm stuck where the trade left me. And then posted a picture of where the trade supposedly left her. Can I say this? I think it's kind of crazy too that like Eureka is... Look, I get it. Okay, people are obviously... It doesn't matter your age, you're going to get into like financial troubles or whatever. But she's made it seem like Mistress and her are not like the bestest of friends. So like for you to get out there and asking for like money like that and $50 for an Uber, I'm like, damn. Like to me, I don't know, depending upon obviously the time of day or whatever. Oh, well, it was 2:30 in the morning. I guess maybe that's why it was so much. But I'm like from Henderson to, where... I'm assuming, obviously, part of Las Vegas, you know what I mean? Because Henderson's right outside Las Vegas. I'm like, damn, $50 for Uber? Damn. Like, also, too, to me, it's kind of crazy that if you're not that close with the person, like, I would never hit up somebody who I would consider, like, an acquaintance or, like, a coworker for money. I would hit up my family or my bestie. Do you know what I mean? Like, I am so sure that Eureka has other people that are close to her that she could ask for money. So that's a little bit crazy. And here goes another screenshot right here that is from January 2nd. Do me a favor. Can you cash at me $200? I can return it tomorrow. Let me know. Waiting on transfer stuff. It's a struggle during tax season and the drugs. LOL. Help. I'm just being funny, but for real, I get paid tomorrow. I have to use Cash App to help my sister with something. So clearly we're obviously seeing a little bit of a pattern here of what Mistress is getting at is that Eureka would just continuously ask for money, which can be very uncomfortable. I got to keep it real with you guys. Like, I have a family member who's constantly asking for money too, and I do got to keep it real. Like, I stay ghosting them because I haven't got paid back multiple times, okay? I'm not saying that Mistress is saying that, but you know, a lot of times some people don't be paying people back. Do you know what I mean? And you're just asking for money at all hours of the night. Like, damn, you know what I mean? Low key, that could be very draining. And I get it that obviously, you know, people go through financial troubles and, you know, you got to rely on a friend to help you out. I totally get that. But from what I have seen and gathered throughout the years, they've never been besties like that. Like, I would feel like Eureka would be closer with other queens that she could ask for, you know, some money. But I don't know. I'm just saying maybe because I have been on the receiving end of people asking me to borrow money countless times and it seems like they're only really like hitting me up like that, it is draining, you know, so maybe that's why I'm looking at it that way. I guess she had unsent a message and then January 3rd at 1:29, which was that same night technically, said, ignore that, chat after the weekend, hey, how are you? Clearly you can see that Mistress is not responding to her. So low-key, this is where I say too, it's kind of crazy about some people because honestly, if I was in Eureka's shoes and I'm like, okay, this bitch is not writing back to me, then I'm not gonna be writing. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna be like, oh, they never write back to me, like, let me let it go, you know? But I do have to say, from what other people have said before, it seems like Eureka is kind of like a draining person. I hate to say that, but that's just what I have like gathered. If you guys have seen other people talk about Eureka before, it just seems like she's a lot to handle, you know? Anyways, January 27th, right here, another message. I'm taking care of myself and thinking of you while doing so. Missing the Kiki. Hope you're well. I'm in LA, but not a social place, although you still owe me a wig. I want a fresh Mistress wig, lol. Clearly, she didn't respond again. Hey, Puss, how is she? Well, darling sister, what a pleasure sharing some moments with you and getting to really get some help from you. Just wanted to thank you for saving me a couple of times. I'm no longer in Vegas and on my health journey with my transition. I really appreciate the moments you helped me with money. I guess I'll buy a wig someday. Good luck at the finale filming. You got some good juju coming your way from here. I'll do a protection spell for you once I'm at 100%. Take care of yourself. So clearly you're seeing all throughout these messages right here that Eureka does look really fake, that she is getting underneath Willem's post and talking shit about Mistress, while all along she's over here hitting her up and saying, oh, like, thank you for helping me out, and I'm doing like a protection spell on you, and you got some good juju coming your way from me. Like, why would you be saying all of these things, but then you're over here underneath Willem's post? Like, to me, it's given a little fake, if I'm being quite honest with you guys. A lot of people were triggered at the fact that Mistress did post because as of right now, Eureka is in recovery. She actually just posted, I want to say that she just hit like 98 days of sobriety or something like that. So a lot of people were triggered that Mistress did post this. And, you know, basically it kind of seemed like, okay, it's giving like, oh, maybe she's asking money for drugs. Do you know what I'm saying? That's just what it's kind of like alluding to. You know what I mean? So a lot of people were like, no, that's not okay. Like, you shouldn't do that. Like, no matter what a person is going through. Mistress had to double down on this because somebody had posted right here, this is gross. As a person who's had addiction issues and has dealt with it in my family, posting publicly someone's low point, no matter what they've said to / about you, is gross. Be the bigger person. And Mistress Isabelle Brooks, she actually quote tweeted that and said, babying a grown person does not allow them to learn the lessons needed and face the reality of their actions. I appreciate your sentiments, but I have no desire to allow someone to talk recklessly about me and spew blatant lies to spread their false narrative about me. Why are we babying grown adults? ? If you truly care about someone and their growth, you hold them accountable and treat them as you would anyone else. Y'all may hate me for saying this, but I agree. I am so sorry. I have several addicts within my family, and I am so sorry, but to baby an adult, like, nope, I'm sorry. I feel like if, you know, Eureka wanted to take this public, then obviously if Mistress had these receipts to prove, you know, and show like, girl, why are you talking this shit about me? Like, you're acting all fine with me, like we're all cool, but then you're gonna go and talk shit about me publicly because everyone's hopping on the hate train right now of bashing Mistress. I think that is messed up, and I'm sorry, I 100% agree with Mistress right there. We're talking about a grown-ass adult here, and yes, I do get it, that, like, if you went out of the blue and just, like, outed them, you know what I'm saying? But the fact that she's over here making it public, I don't know, you know what I mean? Also, too, I'm just saying this from firsthand experience, I really do feel like babying somebody who does have issues, that's not the way to do it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I do feel like if you're out there and you're outing them and you're like posting videos of them and things like that, like, you know what's so crazy is that some people may say like, oh, maybe that'll help, like, you know, make them realize, is like making it public. I have to say, like, yeah, going to a certain extent, you know, if you're posting their deepest, darkest secrets, then low-key that could be a little bit shady. However, from that one message right there, you know what I mean? It was only like alluding to it because Eureka had said only kidding. So who's to even say, you know what I mean? That she was really outing her and her sobriety and her lowest points or whatever. So I don't know. I just feel like Eureka never should have went out there. And it seems like she was like, oh, Mistress is getting so much hate right now, so let me hop on the hate train. That's what I was getting from it. Eureka responded to this and she kind of left it at that, which low key, I gotta say, if Eureka had more, you know, receipts, she would have posted them. She said, your selective screenshots just prove I thought you were my sister. I would go through and pull screenshots and do this fight thing with you, but you're blocked. I really hope you grow up and use your platform for more than what you're using it for now. And then tagged at Big Fat Rat. You know what I think is so funny? Is to get out there and say that I would go through and pull screenshots and do this fight thing with you, but you're blocked. You're already making a public statement. So why don't you just do it then? Like, if you want to post the screenshots, post the screenshots. I think at the end of the day that Eureka knows that she's obviously in the wrong within this specific situation because you're publicly going over here bashing Mistress, but then behind the scenes you're acting like you're cool with her and thanking her for helping you and sending good juju her way. It's like, girl, you're being really fake. So if you're making a public statement about it and you're saying I would do this fight thing with you, but you're blocked, but you're still making a statement about it. Therefore, you could have attached the screenshot. So just go ahead and post it. You know what I'm saying? I think, in my personal opinion, a lot of people don't get Mistress. I think that she is low-key like the perfect person to, you know, hate on online and be like, oh, she's a villain, she's evil. Because obviously, yes, on TV, she does fall into that role because she doesn't really care. She's like, I'm going to go ahead and stir the drama. But low-key, a character like her on TV is so good for TV. Like, she stirs the pot, she gets the conversations going, she gets the drama rolling. You know what I'm saying? So even though people love to hate her, she really does serve, like, you know, a good role. And let's just go ahead and keep it real. If you guys watch RuPaul's Drag Race, there's like always a villain. If you guys don't remember, so many people were hating on Plain Jane, and I was like, I love Plain Jane, I really do. I'm like looking at her on TV, I'm like, she really is a good villain. I feel like Mistress obviously takes the cake. Like, she's, you know, I do gotta say this though, going back to what I said, you know, I do feel like on this past season, maybe she was a little bit too much. Maybe she should have toned it down just a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I still like Mistress, and I do feel like in this beef between her and Eureka, I feel like Eureka is doing a little bit much, acting a little bit fake. That's just my opinion. Anyways, make sure you guys let me know your thoughts and opinions about everything. I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, Girl Scout.